Yeah.
Hello, G Squad. So today I wanted to do something special for you guys. I feel like I'm a Baltimorean, you all know that, but I feel like Baltimore oftentimes gets a bad rap, and you don't hear about the rich history of Baltimore. So today I invited a friend of mine, Donnie Glover, who, you guys know Donnie, but he and I don't agree on a lot of things. But one thing we agree on is the rich history that Baltimore offers. So I wanted to spend some time with him just exploring some of the gems of Baltimore and sharing those with you guys. So welcome, Donnie. Okay, so Donnie, tell us where we are right now. This is one of the gems of Baltimore.
To God be the glory. We're at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and Lafayette Avenue in historic Baltimore. This area is Upton.
Or what is historic about this corner right here?
Well,
talk to us about this statue and this dedicated circle that we're in.
In historic West Baltimore, most people don't know her real name, Eleanor Fagan, but Eleanor Harris Fagan, but she's Billie Holiday. And I think the statue was erected under then Mayor Sheila Dixon. And corner, diagonally across the street, is a monument that George Gilliam and his late wife Stephanie constructed to pay homage to the Royal Theater. Now,
what's the significance of the Royal Theater?
Well, you really get a better answer from someone much older who experienced it. But to our understanding, generally, the Royal Theater is where the greats would perform. Red Fox, Billie Holiday, no doubt. It's the Piano Man. U.B. Blake.
Dizzy Gillespie.
All of the greats, yes.
Okay, so this statue.
But I got to take you over across the street. There's a marker with a lot more of...
We're going to go in closer so you can see this dedicated Billie Holiday.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think she was much prettier than that mural.
Lady Sings the Blues statue.
That mural is not the prettiest.
Well, it's kind of hard to capture true beauty in a statue.
What?
Okay, tell me the significance of this marker.
Well, again, big ups to Mr. George Gilliam and his late wife, Stephanie. They did a lot of work. We did the Pennsylvania Avenue Royal Theater Parade and show right here on this field. So we start up at Penn North and come on down. This is back in the 90s. Most recently, thanks to Officer Evan Anderson and also retired Officer Chuck Lee, also Chaplain Chap Davis, kind of redundant. We put on a parade, come from Penn North all the way down the bottom. Now, this marker, one of the many that George Gilliam and his wife did, highlights Eleanor Fagan, aka, or better known as Billie Holiday, Elmer Snowden. Elmer Snowden was the banjo player and band leader. Cab Calloway. As the old West Baltimore neighborhood matured, Pennsylvania Avenue became a mix of theaters, shops, pubs, beauty parlors, barbershops, lunchrooms, hotels, and professional offices.
So this was the spot. This is where all the greats performed at this theater in the day when African Americans were not allowed to perform in other venues.
Not only that, let me tell you this. Now, I live a few blocks up the street. What I didn't know, one night outside, late night, the older guys were talking about how I live on Carrollton Avenue, where they couldn't get a hotel room downtown. They stayed in people's houses, like on my block.
Really? Wow. I never
Where else were they to go?
Yeah, that's true.
Frank Robinson, the famous Baltimore Oriole, almost did not play for the Orioles, to my understanding. The late Peter Miller told me the story of how he couldn't get a home, and the owners had to make a phone call in order for him to find a place in Ashburton to live.
Okay, so now we're at the historic Orchard Street Baptist Church. Let's get a picture. Come out a little
I
bit.
don't think it's that.
I'm sorry, Orchard Street Church, not Baptist Church, just Orchard Street Church.
Actually, in 1882, it was the Orchard Street Methodist Episcopal Church.
Methodist Episcopal Church. Now, what's the significance of this historic location?
Well, according to this marker, it says it was called an honor to the colored race and a handsome ornament to the city. The Orchard Street Congregation commissioned architect Frank Davis to design a new place of worship. And so this building goes back to 1882, at least according to this record. Truman Pratt, a former slave of John Eager Howard, y'all know John Eager Howard, founded the congregation in 1825. So 1825, slavery still going on. A lot of people don't know, and this is some great history. Did you know that one of Baltimore's nicknames is Tubman City? Harriet Tubman did a lot of work here. The mother, the architect, the engineer one of the engineers of the Underground Railroad. She was a conductor. I think she was responsible for over 1,000 slaves.
Freed.
I remember once posting on Facebook her famous quote, and it's been attacked by different ways. It's written that she said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. So Facebook questioned me, well, how did she do 1,000? According to Wikipedia, 72 are listed to her credit. However, and this is what I told Mr. Facebook, is that with the help of the Union Army down in South Carolina at the Combahee River, she freed approximately 780 slaves with the help, of course, of the Union Army. And she was the equivalent of a Navy SEAL.
Didn't a lot of them have to be taken by gunpoint because they were afraid to go?
I didn't hear that part, but it makes sense. I know in her movie, in the PBS movie on her life, she had to pull that Colt 45 out.
Well, because if they would go back, they would share information, right?
Try snitching, yeah. Stop snitching.
So she couldn't let them go back.
Stop snitching, go all the way back there, for
it would
real.
hurt her operation.
The positive side of it.
Yeah.
But so also in the basement of this building is a tunnel. And it's still there today, at least the face of it, because Underground Railroad was all about being, disguising one's escape. But people would crawl into this tunnel, my understanding is, and you could actually go all the way down to Pennsylvania Avenue.
Wow. Okay.
So this is the site of the Underground Railroad right here in the city of Baltimore.
And I have had the pleasure of being able to go down and actually seeing that tunnel before. So I know that it's there. I know that it exists. So that is great history that this site, Orchard Street Church, is still a site where you can go in and see the underground tunnel from the Underground Railroad.
Ashe to our ancestors. And may
Thank
we
you.
never forget their sacrifices, their struggles, what they went through, what they endured for us to be here today.
But another gem of Baltimore, another historic gem, which I believe now is the home to the Baltimore Urban League, but still a very historical site. So thank you for that information.
Go get some pictures.
So right now, when we think about the best of Baltimore, we are in the gym of the champion, Mr. Davis. Tell us about the champion.
Tank Davis,
Yes.
Gervonta Tank Davis. Really, gotta tell you about him.
Tell my viewers about him.
He's
Tank Davis.
He's pure inspiration.
You can see a big
And what's even
picture of him on the wall.
What's even greater is how Coach Calvin's
not here. We may try to catch him later, but he's the trainer.
how the coaching staff stays here. Easily we could get a few dollars and move and never come back. And we've seen that all too often here in Baltimore. So many people want to leave. They move to, and no slight, I love Ramstown, I love Owens Mills, I love other parts of the world. But we can never forget to maintain the ties that we have. Integration, gave us a lot of options. But what we did forget in many cases was to take care of grandma's house. So thank God that they stayed. I got to open the door.
These are the future Tank Davises training. All the future Tank Davises.
This is Sean at Upton Boxing Center. Just want to let y'all know, any kids for ages of 5 to 17, if you're looking forward to getting into the sport, come on over and sign up. It's free.
Okay.
Free. Y'all hear me? Free, free,
So
free.
tell us about your success that the gym is having.
Well, actually, right now, if you just want to take a stroll over, and then when you get down there, I want you to walk down here with me. And if you know this guy right here,
That's
it could
the
be
champ,
you.
guys. That's the
It
champ.
could be you. This where it
That's
all
the
started
champ.
at. Yes,
The
ma'am.
Mr. Tank Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
What does Tank mean to this gym?
Man, Tank means everything. He's an inspiration for the kids. That's actually why the kids really, at the end of the day, come to the gym, because they want to be just like him. But we tell them, you can be better than him. You can take it to a height that he didn't even achieve yet.
Look how young he was when
Yes,
he
ma'am.
started. Look how young he was to where he is now. That's amazing.
Yes.
Awesome.
What's
So
your name
guys,
again?
Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here at the Upton Boxing Center.
Okay, where are we located?
1901 Pennsylvania Avenue, at the heart of the city.
absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of history around here.
Yes, ma'am. Gotta get that. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it right now.
I'm gonna put this in the truck. I got you.
One of the most recognized names in the world is our beloved Johns Hopkins Hospital. Opened in 1889, it has become the crown jewel of Baltimore and the world. It also now includes the Johns Hopkins University and School of Medicine. One of its greatest accomplishments to date is that I was actually born there. Just kidding, although I was born there, but that's not one of its greatest accomplishments. One of its greatest accomplishments is the many contributions of Miss Henrietta Lacks and the use of her HeLa cells, which will always be a major pillar under the Johns Hopkins umbrella. I am certainly grateful that I can now proudly say that her family has finally received the recognition and compensation that they certainly deserve for use of her HeLa cells. Miss Lax will forever live in our hearts and minds for sure, and in the rich history of Johns Hopkins Hospital. Let's talk Fort McHenry. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, America's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, was written by Francis Scott Key during the Battle of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. It was at a time of an assault on the port of Baltimore that these words were penned. Fort McHenry remains a favorite museum site for visitors who come to Baltimore from all over the world. Let's talk football. The Baltimore Ravens. I think I've said it all right there. They are purple magic. When Baltimore lost the Colts, it was a sad day here in Baltimore. But the Ravens came to town and Baltimore was more than happy to receive them, and they have never disappointed us. We love our Ravens, and you can see the purple passion as you drive through downtown Baltimore, where our beloved Ravens Stadium is. There is no other team as far as I'm concerned, and we will always be in a purple haze. Go Ravens! What is the state bird of Maryland? Why, it's the Oriole, of course, the Baltimore Oriole. Speaking of Orioles, we love our baseball team. We love the amazing Orioles. The Orioles came to Baltimore in 1954 and remain a national treasure. We paint the town orange and black whenever we can in support of our beloved Orioles, with a lineup of Hall of Famers like Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray, and the one and only Cal Ripken Jr. The Orioles are winners of 10 division championships, 7 pennants, and 3 wild card berths. With 7 World Series appearances and 3 World Series wins, we will forever be in love with our amazing Orioles. Domino's Sugar. There is probably not a kitchen in the entire world that doesn't have Domino's sugar in it. Since 1901, Domino's has graced the city of Baltimore with its steadfast innovation, turning raw sugar into Domino sugar. The quality is as good today as it was over 122 years ago. If you drive through Baltimore, you are bound to see the large Domino sugar sign lighting the skyscape of Baltimore. McCormick Seasoning. Baltimore certainly has flavor. McCormick Seasonings is a global leader that operates in 170 countries and territories and is another Baltimore treasure. If you haven't used McCormick Seasonings, you must be living outside of the planet Earth. The Old Bay seasoning is to die for, or should I say to live for. We love McCormick because they still know how to spice it up. The University of Maryland in Baltimore is Maryland's premier public health, law, and human services university. The University of Maryland, Baltimore is comprised of the schools of law, medicine, dentistry, nursing, social work, and pharmacy, and they are ranked among the best in the world. Okay, Mr. Glover, tell us where we are. Now we're talking about another gem of Baltimore, which is the historic Coppin. Is it Coppin State or Coppin University?
Coppin State University.
Okay, tell us about the historic nature of this university.
Named after Fannie Jackson Coppin. This lady was adamant that her people would receive an education. She was an educator, and what greater person that you could name this institution after. What's most beautiful is having grown up, when we moved back to West Baltimore, I lived 4 blocks down the street. And none of that on the other side of North Avenue, that's the south side of North Avenue that we're looking at. None of that was there. And now you have the science building, you have the health and human services building, and most recently, the College of Business. Isn't that beautiful? I mean,
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right here on North Avenue, 2500 block of West North Avenue, you have Walbrook Mills down on the other side of Coppin. You have new homes down there. A couple of blocks to the east going towards Pennsylvania Avenue, you have the new Imad Center. I got to take you by there.
And that's the new stadium that they built over there?
No, the new sports complex is at the top, going toward Mondawmin. So that's North Avenue. And so now the campus expands from Baker Street, 3-4 blocks to the south of that street, all the way up to Gwynns Falls. What a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
And the college has grown, and its sports programs have grown, and they're just doing great things in Baltimore. And it's surprisingly, because I've never been on this campus, although many of my friends and sorority sisters graduated from here. So I know the history and the greatness of the university. I just have never been actually physically on this campus other than to visit the sports arena. I have been in there for games, but not on the actual campus.
A lot of older students found home here, as did I.
Okay.
This was a great place. You might have been out in the world a bit, and Coppin was here as
to embrace you
with welcoming arms. Yes, to embrace us.
Now, let me tell you a story about that. One of my dear friends, who's one of my co-hosts on the podcast, he went to University of Maryland, as did I, for our first few years, and he did not do well, not because he wasn't smart, because he's brilliant, but because he just played around a lot. So he ended up having to leave University of Maryland. And as you said, Coppin was here waiting for him with open arms. So he came back.
Very nurturing.
Yes, it was very nurturing. He came back. He had gone to Poly as well, Polytechnic Institute. He came back to Coppin, and he is very, very not famous, but a big engineer, very accomplished engineer today because of Coppin. And he always says he credits Coppin
You
for
could
that.
have you could have never told me in a million years I'd be here at Coppin, that I would finish my bachelor's at Coppin. You would have never told me that. I went to high school farther away. I went to elementary school farther away.
And then you ended up going to school right up the street. So that's awesome. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Morgan State University. We are now at the historic Morgan State University, my alma mater. Yay! I love this place. I have the best memories. The best memories. This campus is phenomenal now. When I went here, some of the bathrooms didn't have doors on them, but you know. Now it's just amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Okay, so tell us about Morgan.
The Morgan State University, national treasure, hashtag national treasure. Oh my goodness. This is the new administration building, Tyler. And then behind Gail is the Earl Richardson Library. And let me tell you, one of the greatest things about this library is the archives.
Okay.
The old stuff, the old books that you will not find on traditionally white college campuses.
Oh, wait, let me interrupt you. What would I be? Look what I just happen to be standing in front of my sorority sign on the campus. It's like made into the ground. This is the Delta Sigma Theta Alpha Gamma chapter, where I was made as a Delta girl. So couldn't leave here without getting that. Let me try to get the whole thing. Yay! Delta Sigma Theta Alpha Gamma chapter. Yay, I love Morgan. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me let you finish.
I think we should put the camera on you.
So this is super special for me because this is where and we talk about places that wrap their arms around you. And I originally went to University of Maryland, and then I transferred back to Morgan because I needed first of all a smaller institution, and I needed something that made me feel at home. And when I came back to Morgan, I knew that I was home immediately. I mean, this school wrapped its arm around me in a way that, you know, you can't even describe it. You know how they say some schools not only teach you, they educate you, but they teach you how to love yourself. And that's what I got from Morgan. I learned how to love myself and how to love every part of me and everything about me. And
that it's okay to be black.
Yeah, and not just that, it's okay to be black, it's okay to be a woman, it's okay to be everything that I am. And so I will always be grateful to this institution that made me and birthed me and created me. And I say birthed me because I did go to Maryland first, but which was a great school. Nothing against Maryland, but this was where I needed to be. So,
you know, I felt similarly
Morgan.
about actually going from Poly to Dunbar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dunbar was more culturally fit for me.
Okay. So, and as you can see now this is a historically black college or university, or what they call an HBCU. But you will see walking around campus, you can see somebody right here. It's becoming more and more diverse. Look, they're walking that way. The school is more diverse than it's ever been, with other races, which, you know, I embrace. I mean, diversity can't be a bad thing. So
a lot of Coppin's baseball team members are white.
Diverse, right? Yeah. So I love that people are seeing the value in our institutions.
But they
now
also get other race grants to come here.
Yeah, they do. But you know, and we've gotten other race grants to go to some of their schools too. But the fact that people are seeing the value in our historically black colleges and universities, people who are not African American, is a plus. So I'm excited about what's happening and the beauty of the school, but I hope that everyone gets the experience that I got, because this place is truly amazing. And you know, I just love Morgan. I can't say enough about it. So thank you for letting me share that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that I was able to just share with you a small portion of how wonderful Baltimore is. I know that oftentimes Baltimore gets a bad rap, and you hear a lot about crime and this and that. And Baltimore is a wonderful place with such a rich history. You know, I grew up here, and you know, I'm pretty amazing if you ask me. But there's so many wonderful people here, and so many people that are doing just great work in Baltimore and trying to make our city continue to be great. So just wanted to share a little bit of the rich history of Baltimore. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to share more things going all around the city and talk to some of the movers and shakers and the people that are really loving on Baltimore and trying to make things happen. People like Shalonda Stokes at the Downtown Partnership, and people like Chrissy Thornton and other people throughout Baltimore, you know, our amazing governor, Wes Moore, our mayor, Brandon Scott. These are all people who are working hard for Baltimore. So, and there's so many others that I couldn't name, but thank you for tuning in and letting me share just a piece of Baltimore with you. And I hope you enjoyed it. Mwah.